Hey everyone, tonight, let's step into the shoes of a medieval peasant. Imagine living hundreds of years ago, in a tiny, creaky hut, surrounded by nothing but cold, darkness, and the biting wind. For most people, medieval life sounds romantic, grand castles, knights, and festivals, but the reality for the average peasant was anything but. Winter was more than just a season, it was a test of survival. Every night was a battle against the cold that seeped into your bones and refused to let go. Picture this, your home is little more than sticks and mud, with a roof made of straw. The walls are so thin that the wind finds every crack and gap to sneak through. Windows? Maybe one tiny hole covered with an old animal skin. Privacy? Forget it. Warmth? Barely. Nights were the hardest. Darkness swallowed everything, and the wind howled like a restless ghost. Fire sputtered in the hearth, giving just enough heat to roast the toes of whoever was closest. Everyone else? Well, it was almost as if you were sleeping outside, minus the fun camping stories. Clothing didn't help much either. You had a few rough wool tunics, maybe a goat-scented cloak, and a hope that layering them would save you. Spoiler, it didn't. Beds were sacks stuffed with straw, sometimes sharing space with fleas. And yet, every morning you woke up alive, it felt like a small miracle, maybe celebrated with a slightly less frozen turnip for breakfast. But medieval peasants were nothing if not creative. They packed gaps with moss, stuffed rags into drafty corners, and huddled close together, human insulation at its finest. Some even rubbed sheep grease into the walls to keep a bit of warmth inside. It wasn't luxury, but it was survival. And the real hero of every home? The hearth. Not a fancy fireplace, not a polished chimney, just a pit with a few logs. It was warmth, light, kitchen, and sometimes even entertainment. People sat around it sharing stories, gossiping, or just staring into the flames, because after sunset, there wasn't much else to do. Keeping the fire alive was everything. Letting it die out meant inviting frostbite and hypothermia into your HME. Rekindling it wasn't easy, you needed flint, steel, kindling, and a lot of patience. So peasants got smart. They banked the fire, covering embers with ash to keep them alive overnight. A small, glowing lifeline against the cold. Mistakes in fire banking meant freezing mornings, grumpy family members, and sometimes serious danger. It was an art passed down from parent to child, full of little tricks, secrets, and arguments, like arguing over barbecue techniques, only with higher stakes, survival. And then there was the floor. Or rather, the lack of one. Dirt, straw, maybe some rushes. Cold seeped up from below, adding another dimension to the relentless winter assault. Every movement inside the house was a battle against the freezing ground. But peasants adapted. They la.